Hey everyone, and welcome back. So I often find that many people forget this component as well. List items sometimes seem very easy to either create, which they are, but I mean, sometimes they're just like a pain to constantly create over and over again. And we're also developing consistency around how our list items are used and how they're displayed. So let's jump in. So if I go back to this visual style and exploration resource, I have a bunch of options here and I have list items. So I'm going to copy that over and paste it. So as you can tell, I have a different list items that I had from like interest pages. I had them from like our search type ahead that we were talking about we've been talking about this one for quite some time and how it functions. And then just general list items if we need to. This could be for like settings page and so on. And so I decided to create just a base item that held some of these components. And I have a toggle between like this add and this selected state. So it's really apparent so that this is one of your interests that you have, and if you have a long list of interests. Now if we go back to this section and we look at some of the designs where we're using list items like this, we can see them either here, like your suggested searches maybe, or your type ahead searches and interests. So right now I've built it out into two screens, but we could possibly just use one screen for this now that I'm thinking about it. Part of this component creation, exploration, and process in general is that through the creation of components, you're trimming a lot of fat within your designs. You're trimming a lot of fat within like just the individual UI elements that you're creating components for, and you're making such a cohesive system and such a powerful design language. So same thing happens here with like this text list item. I have, they all look pretty much the same now. We have like the option to, go here and, I can select whether it's a button list or just like a general list or a type ahead list. If I go into like my button list, I can go in here into my text list item, and you can go ahead and, change things here, but I can even go into, each individual like containers and swap things that I may or may not need. So this is really helpful for just creating some really easy and reusable designs. And look how they look in comparison to when I first brought them in. I had some of these that were like kind of bolded a bit. I had, some spacing that was not necessarily like the best. I think even some of the rules were a little bit off, these horizontal rules. So these are now using a lot of the components of ours that we've created. And there's just consistency across like even the iconography. So definitely can build this out even further if we wanted to, but this is currently our list item components, really easy to use as well. So if we just look at that structure, we can see that we have an auto layout container over here. And I've already put in padding for it because I want it to, be off the edge of the page, and I want these horizontal rules to go all the way, left to right, span the entire screen. I have that label container where it's either like that main label or the type ahead label. And then in here I have either a chevron, which is the arrow, or the button. So once again, label container, interaction container, and then I have my base like this. And when you publish these styles, you'll be able to hide all of your base components because you're not going to be using those within your designs. And these are our list item components.